Hello, this is a basic intro video to web development. We'll be starting with making a single web page just with basic HTML and CSS. I'm going to be doing this on Mac OS, and I've downloaded Visual Studio Code. It's a free application you can get online, and it's really nice to code in. It's got some nice user-friendly features. So let's get started here. So I'm in a file called webdevdemo here, and I'll just add a new file and name that index.html. This HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. That is the language you will make the basic structure of your web page in. HTML is made up of what is called tags. A tag is something like this. You can see it's got an open and closing bracket and then just the text on the inside there to tell it which tag this is. You'll use these tags to enclose the content of your web page, and this will tell the program how to display that content. Now you can see here, when I typed in HTML in brackets, the program automatically added this other one behind it. And you can see this one has a slash right there. What this is the closing tag. So I've got an open tag here with no slash and a closing tag with the slash. Now that's just saying all the content I put between these two tags is going to be inside the HTML section. So before we keep going with that, at the very top of your page, you'll want to add doctype HTML in a tag. This one is just going to tell whatever's trying to run the program that this is in fact an HTML file, and it'll just help it read all the data that's going to follow. Now we're going to write. So inside those HTML tags, and you want to use indentation here to keep it nice and neat. Every time you are inside a tag, you want to just tab over one line, and that's just going to help with readability for later on when you're trying to work through stuff. So first tag we want to add inside HTML is going to be the head tag. The head tag is where you will put general data about the page, as well as any links to other files that this page needs to reference. One example of a data tag is the title tag. This one will put whatever the content is between it as the tab name once you open the page. So whenever you have the page open in your browser, you'll look at the tab at the top or wherever you have it, and that's the text that'll be printed on that tag or on that tab. After the head tag, we'll add the body tag. This is going to be the section where you put all of your content for the actual page, what you want to show up when you load the page. So I'll just show you a quick example. I'll just add a quick hello world right here and save that. And so now that this is between the body tag, when I go to my web browser, in this case Safari, and I do Command O to open, I'll open this file, and you can just see right there, hello world, just like I added. And also up here on the tab, you see demo, like I put in the title tag, in the head tag. So that's just very basic first setup for this page. There are a variety of other tags you can use as well inside the body tag. One of them is P tag, P standing for paragraph. This designates a section of text that you will put. So I could have put my hello world inside of this P tag instead. And you can see it shifted a little bit, but that's just, it's basically the exact same thing for now. It just helps you to kind of keep everything organized more, and this will help us with styling later, which we will do with CSS, but we'll get into that when we get there. Another tag you can do are H tags. So you can see here it wants to autofill with numbers 1 through 6. What an H tag is it's a header. So if I put some text in here and save that, we can go back to our page and see what that looks like. And you can see it's big, it's bold, looks like a header, right? The different numbers, what they mean is the lower the number you get, or you put, the smaller the header will be. So you can use that for like different tiers of header. If you want to have like a main header for your website, that'll be an H1. Then if you want to have section headers, you could do that H2 or H3. Subtitles could be H4, all the way down to H6 is what that is. So that's another good one to know. Oh, and I forgot to change H3 over there too. You want to make sure the open and closing tags match. All right, another common tag is BR, which just stands for break. And to demonstrate this, I should actually put it between these, and you'll see what that does. So I'll save that, come back here, reload, and you can see it shifted the header down. So what that did is it added a break row here, just some empty space between the content. And you can see it's displaying everything in order as I put it here. So since I put the tag between these two, it just put a space between them. An alternative to that, instead of BR, you can do HR, and that is a horizontal rule, which just puts a line across the screen. So that's more of a visual break in the screen than the BR was. That's another common one as well. Besides that, there are list tags. So I will make an OL tag. What OL stands for is ordered list. So this is going to be a numbered list. The content that you add to this list is going to be numbered 1 through whatever in the order that you add it. And to add that content, you just want to go between these two tags here and add LI tags, which stand for list item. Whatever you put between the list item will show up in the list. So, just to show you that, there you go. You see it's numbered 1 because it's the first thing we added, and then it's just the content of that list item there. You can make more list items. And they will also show up. And there you go. You see 1, 2, 3, all the content. Now if you don't want the numbers, you can change the OL to a UL, which stands for unordered list. And you can see the difference here. So that just does bullet points instead of numbers. With normal text here, there are some other tags you can use to style it. So if I do B, an easy one there, and I have to move the closing tag to the other side of the text. B stands for bold. So you can see when I come back here, item 1 is a bit more bold than the other two. There's also I, and this one stands for italic. And then, before I show you that one, I'll just add the third one, U, which stands for underline. And let's take a look at what those look like. There you go. You can see item 2 is a bit italicized. Item 3 has an underline now. And those are all just very basic text styling tags that you can use. Let's see, another common tag is the A tag. A stands for anchor, and this is what you will use to link, or to make a link to another page. So if I do A space, and then we're going to add what's called an attribute to this tag, which means it's another thing you add inside the brackets. In this case, it is href, which is just going to be the reference to this link. It's going to be the link itself. So you do href equals, you see it fills in my quotes automatically, and I'll just go with good old Google, just as an example. Don't forget to close off the tag. And you can see Visual Studio highlights the attribute with a different color than the actual tag itself. And that's just to help distinguish what's what. So whatever text we put between the anchor tags here is going to be what you click on the page to go to Google. So I'll just put click to go to Google. And I'll save that, go back here, and reload. And you can see it's got the generic blue underline styling that links have, and my cursor changes to show that it's a link when I go to it. So if you click on that, it just takes you to Google. Good old easy links there. All right. Another one you can do is an image tag, which is img. This one's also going to have an attribute, and that's going to be source, spelled src, equals. And then this is also going to need a link. So let me find a quick image to use as an example. We'll just go here, grab the first image, and copy the address. Go back in here, and I can just paste that in. We got a good link there. Close that off. And this one doesn't need a closing tag. As you can see, it didn't automatically add it. That's just because this, like I forgot to mention earlier with the horizontal rule and the break tags, this one doesn't enclose any content. This tag itself just is the content. So it doesn't need a closing tag. It is kind of a standard to add a slash there just to kind of indicate this one doesn't have a closing tag, but that's not required for functionality. So I'll go ahead and save this so we can see what an image looks like. Go ahead and reload. Oop. Something happened. Here, let me just open it again. There we go. And you can see the image there. Now it's kind of big and in your face, but it's there. Again, CSS is for styling it. We'll get to that later. But there you go. We got an image. Now, those are the very basic tags, I'll say. The ones that most people learn first. And you can make a very standard generic website with them. And it's not that restrictive, even though there aren't that many tags here. You can do quite a lot with these. You can get basically all the functionality you need out of a website with just these tags. It won't be that pretty, and it won't feel that modern, but it'll work. And that's why these are the most basic tags. Now, I'm going to show you how to style a page like this. So, to do that, we'll need to use CSS. That's another language, and that stands for Cascading Style Sheets. That is what we'll use to style up these tags here. So I'll go add a new file, name it style.css, and then I'll go back into the head here and we'll add a link tag in the head. This is going to be what tells our HTML page to reference our CSS file to pull the styling from there. So I'm just going to add an attribute relationship, which is just rel equals style sheet, and that's just going to tell it what kind of file I am linking to. And after that, I will add href, just like we did down at the image, or at the link, sorry. And this will be the path to the file. So I'll just put style.css. You can see it wants to autofill in for me. And that's going to link it to that. And we can just close off this tag. And now, you're not going to see any difference yet because we haven't added anything to the CSS page, but it is now linked. So, going into the CSS page, the way you CSS looks a little different from HTML. The way you style something, I'm actually going to pull this down and put it on this side so we can look at both files at the same time. So the way that CSS works is you have to name what you want to style and then you put what styles you want to apply to it. So for instance, if I wanted to style hello world there, I could say p, since it's in a p tag, and then you want to use curly brackets to enclose the styles you want to add to that. And I can just do something like color colon, whatever attribute you want to style, you follow it up with a colon, and then you can see it wants to autofill with possible options here. So let's go with, you know what, I'll just type in my own. Let's go with just a generic green. And then you want to end the line with a semicolon. So attribute, what you want to style, followed by a colon, then then the style you want to apply, and then semicolon. So I'm taking the p tag, changing its color to green. And let's save that. Go back over here and reload. And you can see up here, hello world is now green. Kind of cool. But yeah, there are a lot of other styles you can do. For instance, text. And you can see there's a lot of even just text styles you can do. You can look through all these. but I'm going to show you text align. And we'll go with center. You could do left, right. I'll do center. Same format. And save that. Come back here, reload, and now you can see Hello World is in the center of the page instead of to the left like it was by default. If you wanted to style something else, you just come down here and we'll say H3 tag. We'll style that. And I want to set the font size on that one. So font dash size, colon, and I'll say 40 px, which means pixels, semicolon. Save that, go back, and you can see it changed the size. Now you wouldn't normally change an H3 tag to be bigger because you got H1 for that, but it's still something you can do either way. And if you wanted to change the background color of the whole page, you could go here, body, which remember was the section enclosing all of our page content, so that's just going to be everything. Background color, colon, and let's set it to aqua. Why not? Might not look great, but it'll be visible at least. Reload that. And there you go. We have a generic, right when the internet came out looking web page. You can also, this is one I don't want to forget, image. You can change the size, which we drastically need to do with ours. So just like body, just like we did for body, you can set the height and just like we did with H3, we're going to change the size. We'll do height and set it to a number of pixels, just like that. And you can see, makes it nice and small for us so it doesn't take up our whole page. And with just these two types of files, with these two languages, and a bit more research than just this video, you can really make a lot of good content on a web page. It does go a lot more in depth than this, even expanding into stuff like JavaScript, which I'm not going to get into in this video, but that's another big one for web development. And yeah, now you know how to make a very basic web page. Thank you.